Yul Brynner was born Yuliy Borisovich Briner on July 11, 1920, in the city of Vladivostok. He had a diverse ancestry, including Swiss German, Russian, Buryat, and purported Romani heritage. His birth took place at his parents' residence, a four-story house located on 15 Aleutskaya Street in Vladivostok. He was born into a prosperous Swiss-Russian family, who were landowners and involved in silver mining development in Siberia and the Far East. During that period, the region was under the control of the Far Eastern Republic, and Vladivostok was partly under Japanese authority. The Briner family led a comfortable life in their four-story mansion. In October 1922, the Red Army took control of Vladivostok, leading to the confiscation and nationalization of much of the Briner family's wealth at the conclusion of the Russian Civil War. While the Briners lost ownership of their home, they continued to reside in the house, albeit under temporary circumstances, including Yul's elder sister, Vera. As he grew older, Yul Brynner playfully indulged in spinning tall tales and embellishing his background and early life for the media. He sometimes claimed that he was born as Taiji Khan to a Mongol father and Roma mother on the Russian island of Sakhalin. He even adopted different variations of his name, referring to himself as Julius Briner, Jules Briner, or Yul Brynner. However, a biography written by his son, Roch Brynner, in 1989 provided clarification on some of these details. In 1927, Yul Brynner, along with his mother and elder sister Vera, emigrated from Vladivostok, Russia to Harbin, China. There, young Yul and Vera attended a school operated by the YMCA. In 1930, Brynner's father gave him a significant birthday gift, an acoustic guitar. This gift, along with subsequent music lessons, profoundly influenced Brynner's artistic development. His innate curiosity, creativity, and imagination became focused on mastering guitar techniques and studying both classical and contemporary music. Under the guidance of his classically trained opera singer sister, Vera, Brynner delved into music studies. After years of dedicated effort, he became a skilled guitar player and singer. In 1933, concerned about the possibility of conflict between China and Japan, Brynner, his sister Vera, and their mother relocated to Paris. On June 15, 1935, at the age of 14, Brynner made his debut at the Hermitage Cabaret in Paris. He played his guitar and sang in the Russian and Romani languages. Encouraged by initial success, he continued performing at various Parisian nightclubs, sometimes alongside his sister, where they played and sang songs in Russian and Romani. During this time, Brynner attended a lyceum in Paris, studying French. His classmates and teachers recognized his strong character, as he was often involved in physical altercations. In the summer of 1936, Brynner worked as a lifeguard at a beach resort in Le Havre. In 1941, Brynner made his stage debut in the Broadway production of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, which premiered on December 2, 1941. In this role, he portrayed Fabian and delivered a few lines in his broken English, featuring a noticeable Russian accent. This opportunity encouraged him to improve his English language skills, which already included French, Japanese, Hungarian, and some Russian. The production was short-lived, like many other Broadway shows, due to the attack on Pearl Harbor and the subsequent U.S. declaration of war on Japan and Nazi Germany. Shortly after, Brynner found employment as a radio commentator, delivering war propaganda in French and Russian at the Voice of America radio station. Brynner ventured into comedy with two films directed by Stanley Donen, Once More, with Feeling, 1960, and Surprise Package, 1960, but the public response was less than enthusiastic. He also made a cameo appearance in Testament of Orpheus. While The Magnificent Seven, 1960, a Western adaptation of Seven Samurai produced by the Mirish Company, received a warm public reception, it initially disappointed in the United States. However, the film gained immense popularity in Europe and maintained its enduring appeal. The film's ultimate success led Briner to sign a 3-picture deal with the Mauritius. The film was particularly well received in the Soviet Union, where it sold 67 million tickets. He later made a cameo appearance in Goodbye Again, 1961. Despite becoming a naturalized U.S. citizen at the age of 22 in 1943, while residing in New York as an actor and radio announcer, Yul Brynner renounced his U.S. citizenship at the U.S. Embassy in Bern, Switzerland, in June 1965. This decision was prompted by the loss of his tax exemption as an American resident working abroad. Having spent an extended period in the United States, he faced significant tax and penalty debts imposed by the Internal Revenue Service, which would have left him financially devastated. In 2006, Rock Brynner, Yul's son, authored a book titled Empire and Odyssey: The Briners in Far East Russia and Beyond, delving into his family history. He frequently visited Vladivostok, his father's birthplace, for the Pacific Meridian Film Festival. In September 1983, Brynner experienced a sore throat, accompanied by a change in his voice. Medical examinations revealed a lump on his vocal cords. Just hours prior to his 4,000th performance in The King and I in Los Angeles, he received test results indicating that he had inoperable lung cancer, with no effect on his throat. Brynner had begun heavy smoking at the age of 12, and despite quitting in 1971, promotional images often featured him with a cigarette or cigar. He and the national tour of the musical had to take a hiatus for a few months while he underwent radiation therapy, resulting in a side effect that damaged his throat, making speaking and singing challenging. The tour eventually resumed. In January 1985, the tour reached New York for a final Broadway run. Aware of his impending death, Brynner granted an interview on Good Morning America, discussing the perils of smoking and expressing his desire to create an anti-smoking advertisement. The Broadway production of The King and I ran from January 7 to June 30 of that year, with Mary Beth Peil in the role of Anna. His last performance, a few months before his passing, marked his 4,625th portrayal of the king. Yul Brynner succumbed to lung cancer on October 10, 1985, at the age of 65 at New York Hospital. Following his death, Brynner's remains were cremated, and his ashes were interred on the grounds of the Saint-Michel-de-Bois-Aubry Orthodox Monastery, located near Louzé between Tours and Poitiers in France. Before his passing, Brynner collaborated with the American Cancer Society to create a public service announcement, using footage from his Good Morning America interview. This announcement premiered on major U.S. television networks and in other countries a few days after his death.